Good morning.
Good morning. I didn't even look at your hair yet. Which we'll do in a second. Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
Yeah, because it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
You don't have to say anything crazy. Actually, my shirt matches your hair. Kind of.
Yes.
A little. Anyway, coordinates. I'm all summery today because I'm trying out new clothes. Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art Fiber. And fog burning off. Probably going to be toasty. Might rain because it's the summer, Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there. I saw rain at like 1 to 2
Okay.
on the radar.
We might still put the tent up and just deal, you know. So, yeah, the guy, I went to the dump on my way into work, and he's like, might rain. I'm like, it's Brevard. So, you know. Anyway, hi. It's our Tuesday check-in, which is when we tell you all about how our projects are going and stuff. So, what did you do this weekend?
I put in my hair.
Sorry.
No.
I realized what you were working on. Sorry again. You put in your hair. Is that a new dress?
No.
It's pretty.
Thank you.
I don't recognize it as much as some of the others.
It's like a year old, but I've only worn it like 2 or 3 times.
Goes with your hair.
Yes.
I got it. It goes with her hair. So you put in new hair.
I
Tell
did.
us about your hair.
So I took 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 balls of wizard, and cut up a crap ton of dreads, and I weighed the amount that I started with, and that was 200 and something, and I only used 144.
I feel like you're suddenly the quiet
I know.
sister.
I used 144 grams, so it's
like,
the lightest set
secret?
of dreads. I don't know.
I know, you're fine. I'm sorry. I don't mean to make you feel uncomfortable. I really was trying not to. So,
anyway,
wait. 140, what? I heard numbers. And
144 grams is what I put in, which is the lightest set.
Okay, so you used a bunch of balls of wizard, but you didn't use, like, the entire ball.
No,
Because, like, this 100 grams, this and this is 100 grams, but you selected?
I selected ultimately, but, like, I have some of the turquoise in there. I have some anthracite. Ametrine and Jasper.
Because Jasper's the red I made my...
Yeah,
I
not anthracite.
Although, here's what's really cool for me is, like, a lot of these colors have other colors in them, so it might be hard. Like, I could maybe identify some of the colors in your hair, but at the same time, I could be guessing wrong because of the overlap.
The red and the neutral are in there, too, so, yeah.
But the red is the Jasper.
Yeah. So Jasper, what's the neutral one?
The neutral, the onyx.
Onyx.
The gray one.
Turquoise. Ametrine.
Ametrine is like the
purple, silver, blue, green.
The kind of thistle-y,
Yeah.
but there's blues and other things in it.
I had 2 balls of that. So.
Okay. Yeah. So that's 3 different. Was there a 4th color?
Turquoise.
Oh, the turquoise, ametrine,
Jasper.
Onyx, Jasper. Got it.
And the unikite.
Oh, and the unikite's in there too?
Yeah.
That's 5 colors.
Yeah. 2 balls of one of the
I kind of want to use the unikite for a crochet project I saw with the wizard. But, sorry, I'll move this back.
Oh,
I think we're both getting either quieter or louder or whatever. But I didn't take it home over the weekend. And I don't know how much we have left. Like, I don't want to use up what little we have left. Oh, I broke my nail way down low.
Oh,
Neither here nor there. I'll deal with that later.
So.
It's just going to get caught on all the yarn. It's long, but it's super light.
It's still
I'm sorry,
wet.
I'm just grabbing your hair.
No, it's fine.
But, oh, you washed it.
Well, yeah, I always wash it to set it in, but.
Because I would put this in and be afraid to touch it.
Well, it's
not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
But it's going to... Oh, yeah. It's sticking on your dress.
Yeah.
It's so pretty!
It's like There's no weight on my head.
Liz is back to being Liz.
I'm back to being Liz. Yay.
With the long hair.
With the long hair, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. And
So,
I'm picking at my nail.
Anyway, I was going for zombie apocalypse, but I don't know.
I see some broody apocalypse, and then I
Yeah.
see the turquoise hope.
Yeah, there's a couple of turquoises in there. So.
I like it.
Thank you. It feels weird to have it like my normal long hair, but it's so light. Like normally I do like 200 plus grams, and this is like half of what I normally put in.
But the volume is there.
The volume is there.
This is a scientific experiment in Wizard, and how chainettes don't weigh as much, but yet it looks like she's got her normal hair. So the dreads that she does in, that's really cool. And that was pretty much your whole weekend, right? Yeah. Did you work on anything else?
No.
Okay.
I was going to do a dress, but that didn't happen.
So you're getting quieter and quieter. Why is
that? I don't know.
I don't either. But it's okay. I'm just pointing it out, not to like draw attention to you or anything. I just want to make sure people at home can hear what you're saying. So you were going to do a dress and you didn't. This is really pretty though. Is this batik? Yeah. Okay. The dress she's wearing is here. Can you move your project for a sec? I'm sorry. It's really pretty. It's very, very pretty.
It's a very lightweight batik, so yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Yay! I have too many things that I half worked on a little or made progress since you last saw them. So I will just take up the rest of the time showing off projects. I took the wizard home to do a sample and make a hat, and like, ooh, can you grab the scale when you have a moment? Because I did what's called the fourth hat with the lapis colorway. Because it's so pretty. And the fourth hat, you start at the top and go down. And so I was on 10 double points. And I feel like I could have done the body longer before I started the ribbing. But I was following the instructions. And they said if you wanted the double ribbing to even do it shorter than I did it. But it at 5 or so inches from the top, you're supposed to start the ribbing. And then I'm doing what hopefully will be a fold-up brim. Just for fun. And I want to see how much. I think I'm almost done. I think I want to make the brim a little longer. I have 63 grams left of this. I haven't even used half the skein, and look at the hat.
So you have enough to
make another hat.
Do a cowl. I
do. I haven't decided if I'm making another hat or a cowl. So if I take off my little headband, which by the way, in-person class on Saturday for this, because we have an opening. I know it's last minute to announce, but if anyone wants to try a worsted weight cotton headband crochet, we're doing it Saturday. Contact the shop, but it's in person. It's not online. So I did 10 double points for the top of this, and now I am using, I'm testing our Prim circulars. We do not carry these in the shop. On Magic Loop for the ribbing. I like them, but I find the join is rough, and when I'm pushing up with the wizard, I feel like it's like catching. It's not splitting because the wizard's got all this texture that can catch on stuff. So it's working, but I'm always worried. I'm always a little worried about it. So we have not brought the Prim circulars in. They're only available in like 24 and 32 inch lengths from our supplier. So it's and they're not made in every size. So if we brought them in, then you say, why can't I get them in a 9? They're not made in a 9. Anyway, so on the circulars, though, I can put it on my head. I'm going to fold the brim kind of a halfway mark and try this on. And I think I want, and it's kind of stuck on my head a little because it doesn't stretch quite enough. I think I want this to be a little bit, like I would like more brim. If I'm going to fold it, I want to fold it a lot. You can kind of tell where my double points were. There's a little bit of a gap. Yeah. You know, like it's hard to not have some kind of gap, which could ease out over time. I think I'm going to do like maybe another inch of ribbing or so just to have extra options for either keeping it down over my ears or fold upable and not feel like it's wimping out. But isn't this pretty? It's so pretty. And the fourth hat, once you get going on the top's a little finicky because it's a top-down like pinhole cast-on type deal, which is much more of a crochet start than a knit start. But it lets you, Carol was saying you can try it on as you go, and I am trying it on right now, but only because I'm doing it on circulars.
Yeah.
If you do the whole thing on double points, it's a little hard to put on your head without it popping off. Like, the straight needles will make it be funky. But I am liking how I think it's so pretty, and I could do either a bottom-up hat to show you the difference, or another cowl. There's still tons of yarn left in this. I could get 2 hats out of it, which I think is pretty cool. So, that is something I spent a lot of time on this weekend. And it knit up fast. It's not like this is all I got accomplished this weekend. I filmed 2 videos for my Tips and Tricks channel on sewing in ends. Like, they were both quick ones. They weren't like super, I need to edit complex. I also did one on a standing double crochet because I figured it wouldn't take super long. I didn't do any drawings, though, for it. If I'm going to do 2 videos in a day, I'm not going to draw stuff out because that takes a lot of time. So, since it's out here on the table, I think I mentioned that I'm doing a Ranunculus out of the Vivo. And, of course, the color I picked, because we had 12 skeins of it, and I figured it would be pretty, and B, there would be plenty of stock left. Someone then came and bought all the skeins except for 1. So I have reserved 2 skeins for myself, so they're not listed in inventory anymore. And then now we only have 1 skein left. Wah, wah, wah. I'll bring it back in if I can. But I'm at the point where I've gone through all of the fun yoke stuff. I'm at the point where I get to pick a size. And I'm still debating. I think I want this nice and oversized. But my gauge is a little smaller than called for in the pattern. This is the miracle. The Ranunculus is the miracle sweater where you don't have to check your gauge if you're grabbing the size 10 needles and just going. However, it may not come out the size it says it's going to come out. They're all designed to be super oversized. So in that sense, if you even if your gauge is off, it should still fit over your head and your body. That's the idea. I did a super loose double twist cast on, and even though it's cotton, it looks like the neck is going to be just fine. I've had people who, shout out to Carol. Carol started one, as I fall off the table, and then realized that it wasn't going to fit over her head. And I was thinking, she's using a different cotton, I think, than I am. And I'm like, cotton doesn't really stretch, but she'd also changed the needle size, because Carol's got to change everything she comes across. She had changed the needles. She'd gone way down, not way down, but she was going smaller on her needle size. And so, yes, that means her neck is going to be tighter. So I'm still doing this on a 10. So I was able to start on like 24-inch needles, even though I only cast on 60 stitches with that wider cast on. So I have some decisions to make about how big I want it to go, and that's basically how many of the raglan increases I do now. Like, it isn't until section 3 where you have to pick a size, which is kind of fun. Like, they all start the same. So you can change the size it will come out by changing your needles, but then you have to take on the risk of what size it's going to come out. If you change the fabric and your gauge, then you have to tackle that.
And
so,
like,
this is Twilight, though. It's so pretty. Yes.
You were saying last week that you checked your gauge and you have to make a bigger size if you want it to come out the size
like
5.
If I wanted to come out a size 5, which would be like 55 inches of bust, which has lots of room in it, that's at least 10 inches of ease, which is kind of big and floppy, but then it hangs gracefully, so it doesn't feel like too voluminous. I would have to follow the instructions for like a size 8, because my gauge, and that's the difference that only a couple stitches can make. The pattern gauge says 14 stitches for 4 inches is what you're aiming for. and I have 16. So my stitches are smaller, which means I have to make a much bigger size. There's magic math involved, and the cool thing about the book I want to bring in, there's someone I follow on Instagram, Tian, I forget, her last name starts with a C, and I'm totally forgetting it off the top of my head because I'm not good with last names. She has a book, Cardigans for Everybody, as not everybody, but everybody. And part of what she does in this book is like our version of magic math, but it's written down, which is fantastic. So if you're not getting gauge, there's a way to modify the pattern. Like, we can help people with that, but that is not our primary function, to modify patterns. We can help you if you're absolutely stuck. But I have people who contact me saying, I want to, like, someone just asked me, do I have a series of videos on how to adjust for bust shaping? And I don't. Like, that's not my thing. So I'm happy that my videos have helped people, but I am not an expert at everything. So I would love to bring the Tian's books in, though, so we have an option here to sell you in the shop, which would be really cool. Not there yet.
The reason I brought that up is it could be the fact that it's cotton. Like, the fiber can play a big role and change your gauge. And
like, people who've made a bunch of different ranunculus sweaters, ranunculi as we like to say, they may not all come out the same size. You can't just grab needles and yarn and say, well, on 10 needles it came out the right size with this wool, so when I make it with a cotton, it'll be fine. Everything can change that. And it's designed to be, you can use anything from a lace to a worsted, but that doesn't mean they're all going to come out the same size.
And, like, for even with Carol, so, and several, there's lots of other people that have done this, is I want a close fitting, maybe 1 or 2 inches of positive ease. The pattern was designed for massive amounts of positive ease.
It's the style. It's a Japanese style. And not everyone likes that.
When you shrink down the needle size, there could be issues with gauge. Like, you're going to have to keep trying it on to make sure you're not going too tight. You know,
I mean, like, there's going to be issues with gauge. It's just you have to figure out how it's going to fit.
Yeah,
you can't take smaller needles and say, well, it's magically going to make it 2 sizes smaller. Yeah. Mm-mm. That is, and that's the thing with first making sure it fits over your head when you start it, and then because of the size changes with section 3, like Liz is saying, in section 3, get some way to put your stitches on holders so you can check the size and see how it's coming out before you do sleeve separation. It's a lot of either trying it on or trial and error or that kind of thing, being ready to rip it back, like engaging with the chaos that could ensue and just enjoying the ride.
I'm super comfortable with going up needle sizes. Even though I know it's going to change gauge, but I want the extra positive.
She likes it being loose.
I love that.
So there's some unpredictability with how loose it's going to be, but you're okay with that.
Yeah. And then occasionally I get caught up in I want more of this motif in my sweater, so I wound up with a swan show. But I'm okay with that. Like, but going down, trying to make it smaller is kind of the same thing. It's going to be trial and error. Mm-hmm. And,
So, anyway. All right, so what else did I do this weekend? I ran out of the light purple. I started making these squares, these guys. Ta-da! I started making my 4th set, which is, I'm getting so close. I have 31 of these done. I have only 2 with the ends woven in. Most of them, see, I have these 2. Most of them look like this on the back. But I have 31 done. I got through about 4 more little centers before my first skein of purple. So we used this last week to demonstrate things. Now I get to wind this one up to keep going. But it might be a good time to weave my ends in a little for a few minutes.
Maybe.
Not on camera. But yeah, it's like, if I can tip this, it's like all of this. These are all squares for this thing. And I still have 15 something like that. More to go. This thing is let's hope it's all worth it in the end, and it's something I can kind of functionally wear. We'll find out. I'm really excited to get to the point where I can start putting all the squares together, though, but I don't see that happening for a couple more weeks. So, what else? I have... Look, I brought this whole bag in.
It's not a thing.
So, things I worked on. Not all of these are things I worked on. Like, at least one thing in here, my dragon cowl I haven't worked on. It's just here because I might want to work on it. I got through the ribbing on my Aster Tee. So, again, this is the bottom of it. And I have... Stockinette always goes faster. I really love how the colors are just... It's really subtle, speckly colors. I have... almost 3 inches, not quite, out of what I'm supposed to do, like 13 inches on this before I get to the top part where it's going to have these little mini skeins are going to be texture at the top. Textures, little star stitches to look like the Aster flower. And, okay, so that's mindless, that's great mindless knitting like during knit night, although tonight at knit night, by the way, we have knit night tonight from 7 to 9 p.m. on Zoom.
With the shop phone number, 828-877-3550.
Thank you. Okay.
You're welcome.
I figured to get that out of the way because it came up in conversation. I did this whole... I haven't worked on any of my shawls in a while, so I made some progress on this. This is my room with a view.
Ooh, you have?
Yeah, on my third repeat, I think she did, like, this mosaic up here is really fun. It's a color changing Perth called Tasmanian Bay, and Fiber Space Vivacious 4-ply. Oh no, I got things popping off the end. Heavenly. If the mic picked it up, I just dropped one of my stitch markers that I just added off the end, but I'll figure that out later. She did 4.5 repeats of this pattern, and I think I'm in the third repeat right now, before she ended it with more stripies like the bottom. So it's really busy, but it's really, really pretty, and maybe someday soon I will finish it. It is fingering weight, so it takes a while, but it would be really nice to get that done. So there were so many things I said, I'll finish this, and I'll finish this, and I'll finish, and then I just kind of rotated and got little bits done and everything. I made some progress on my Tecumseh, so I brought it in to show you all. I'm just starting the second leaf part down here. I think last time I checked in, I was in these crosses or just getting there. This is a Caitlin Hunter pattern with color all over. Like, after this leaf part, I get to do sleeve separation. So I was like, I'm so excited, I'm going to sleeve separate this weekend, and I didn't. Because this chart's going to take several rows. And, but right after this, I get to do sleeve separation. And then there's more of these same patternings. I don't know if I locked the door, but we'll find out. We have people walking up, just looking around. But there's more of these patternings that happen on the sleeves and on the torso. So this one is not part of our colorwork sweater make-along. Although if you wanted to do it in the fall, knock yourself out. It is a DK weight pattern. I'm using thin DK yarn for it. I'm using the Jody Long Alba in 3 really fun colorways. I put in the newsletter, I put a short list of the patterns that, like, and it's a long short list, I gotta be honest, of patterns I think would be good or that have caught my eye for the fall, the autumn knit-along, make-along. I'm starting it a month early in September because I put that on stuff, so I'm going to stick with it. Like, I've been changing every 3 months, and September's early. Like, October should be when I switch to that one. But people are really itching to work on that, so...
We could do a month of overlap.
Yeah. I mean, there's overlap with all of these. There's no end date on any of them. Yeah. But so September's going to start our... it's locked. That's good. That's the people coming up. That's not mail, so we're just going to let that be. Because it is 9:20. We don't open until 10. So they will come back. And our hours are posted multiple places.
I know.
So,
I know.
someone just yanked on the door. Anyway, so I think they might be Waldo hunters, actually.
Could be.
Could be. So they're just going to have to wait till 10. Anyway, so I have 3 patterns from Jennifer Steingass, including the Avena, which is one I've already done because so many people seem fascinated with that one. And 2 that I'd like to try. I can't make all of these sweaters, so I'm hoping other people will make some of them for me. So there's 3 by Jennifer Steingass. There's the Avena, Goldwing, I think it is, because Golden Fern is the one I've already made that's fingering weight. I'm trying to have all of them be either worsted or DK yarn. So something kind of in the middle thickness range that's accomplishable instead of teeny tiny yarn. But I find for our area, there aren't as many ones written for like bulky or super bulky. They're there, but also they aren't as functional unless you live in a really cold place, which a lot of people do. But we're picking ones that kind of fit mid-range. So those are what?
I was going to say, it's like stranded color work is like double stranding the thickness of the thing.
The floats go behind.
Yeah. So my chunky weight sweaters are coats for the wintertime because, they're heavy.
And so let's see. I got distracted. Someone else walked by. So that always happens. The window, I'm like, ooh, ha, he, ha. Okay, so I picked 2 by Caitlin Hunter. Caitlin Hunter has so many good ones, but I was trying to pick one some that were more fall oriented. You can always make any of these short sleeves. I'm trying to remember the names though. There's the Koivua is one that's got all the feathers on it, and that actually has color work the whole way. Most of the ones I picked have color work only at the top. The other one, it starts with an I. It's really short. It's like Ilya or something like that. And it was a recent publication. It's like November of last year. But that's when I was looking for this year. And it's got a cowl neck, though. So it's got a different neck. It's got a more boxy, drapey look. But it's got a thicker neck to it. So keep that in mind if you're looking at picking one. It doesn't have a classic, like, cowl neck. Caitlin Hunter, she's got the Easy V neck. She's got a lot of other ones. I didn't put that on my short list though, but you're not limited to my short list. What we have been doing this year is topics. So like cables in the winter. And then the pressed flowers had a big range. So it was mosaic. There were other things you could have done, but the pressed flowers itself had so many options. It was really cool. And it was just a really neat pattern in the end to do. And then Granny Squares, the sky's the limit. We had a short list. Stranded colorwork yoke sweaters is kind of the topic for the fall. And I also threw in a couple from Tin Can Knits just to have, because I think they have some great patterns, especially if you are new at things. New at the color work, or you want some more geometric designs. I mean, I think you can accomplish any of these, but I put in 2 from Tin Can Knits. One is the Mountain Mist sweater, which is like our Mountain Mist hat. It just has geometric triangles and diamonds. Triangles and diamonds and things to make mountains. And I think it looks really cool. And it's not crazy complicated. Not that any of these are. And then there was another one by them, and I'm forgetting the name of it right now, but it's in my newsletter, and I'll try to put it, if I remember, I'll put them all underneath the description of this. But there's another one that just had more geometric shapes and things going on in it, right in the middle here. And I thought that would be a really interesting thing if people wanted to try it. If they didn't like the Goldwing has very, like, we've got feathers and leafy looking things and other stuff. And if you wanted more of a geometric print, this other one by Tin Can Knits that I stumbled across looked pretty cool. And it was more of a unisex design in that, like, she has them listed. The company, Tin Can Knits, I think is a couple of women, but they had pictures of guys and girls in them. So, by the stereotypical boundary lines of whatever. And So, you can make whatever you want, though. I don't know which ones I'm going to make or how many I'm going to make. You know me and sweaters. I can get a little bit obsessed, but I have all these sweaters I'm already doing.
I have a bunch of sweaters that I have bought the yarn for. I mean, I have yarn at home for like a billion sweaters, but I was thinking I might make another Steinkrieger out of the chunky.
So Liz is going to kind of fit into the general category, but do her own thing.
Yeah, it's written for chunky though. So
yeah.
And
that's more of Liz's happy place.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's fast.
So, yeah, my newsletter, I'll see if I can adapt. Also, there's a knit-along category on our regular website, the sundragonartandfiber.com. And I'll see if I can modify that to include all the patterns I just put in the newsletter, because I was kind of brainstorming yesterday and the million things I did yesterday. But I'm hoping to have some like ongoing classes or meeting times for people who just want to drop in and get help. Like there'll be fees to attend, but it won't necessarily be like you have to sign up type of deal, because it could take multiple sessions. I'm thinking we'll have meeting times like 2 weeks apart for people. It'll be kind of like a drop in and work, but there will be a fee associated with it. It won't be a sit and stitch. It'll be you're here to work on the knit along, so you're paying a fee. I haven't been able to figure out if I can do the same type of thing for the online participants, because that's added time on top of all the added things we already do. So I'm still pondering that. That wouldn't be as often as the in-person, because we can build in-person into the times the shop is open. To be quite honest, it just is a little easier to do. So, as long as we don't keep having the traffic flow we've been having, which is great, but means I'm not available to help as much. So,
and I need Saturdays off.
Yeah, Liz needs all the days off. So,
just Saturday.
So I'm still pondering that, but we have until September, so we have some time. So yeah. In the meantime, I have to finish all my other projects, so I can start new ones. And she's befuddling looking at. That's an interesting one to work on right now, because doesn't that take a lot of focus?
No, because it's still two different colors.
It's one of her papillons, but
I'm almost to the end of the row, so I can.
Ooh, we could show that before we go.
Yeah. This one is black and off black, so it's not the Impasa papillon.
Oh, okay.
That one I could not.
That one's just all the same.
Do.
Yeah.
That one's all just the same yarn. There is no changing yarn. It's.
You have to look really, really close at all the black to see what direction the stitches are going.
This looks all black.
I can see off camera. See, I see the, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I see the ribbing of the butterfly.
It's just ever so slightly.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
Anyway, so before we go, we already mentioned sit and stitch. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow, today's the last chance to get this on sale. We're already out of a few colors. If your order hasn't been shipped yet, we might have contacted you about it. So check your email or your voicemail. And so one more day to get this at 15% off. And then we'll try to bring colors back in if we can, but they won't be on sale. I don't know what we're talking about tomorrow. We
rarely.
I knew last week because this came in, but
Yes, but that's twice out of 50.
If you have questions for Dear Becky and Lizzie on Thursday, please email Liz. And the address is
liz@sundragonartandfiber.com.
Yeah, if I lead in weird. If I say her name because her name's part of the email, it just throws everybody off.
Yeah.
So that's the way to get the questions on air, especially this week. So we had fun talking about last week's, I think.
We did.
So, yeah.
We did.
Yeah. We did it on Friday, and it threw everybody off. But
yeah.
I think we're back to our normal schedule now, as far as I know.
Yeah.
We'll see. Anyway. Yeah. It's the last full week of July. That just feels weird.
I know. Thursday will be your 6th anniversary for officially opening. You were only open for 4 hours on Thursday.
Yeah.
Well, it was
a Friday, and it was gallery walk, so I opened for gallery walk with mood lighting. I had 12 lights in my shop. I could tell stories maybe if I remember on Thursday, but that's so weird. We're coming up on 6 years. That's the other thing I didn't send emails out about today. Was like, I'm like tomorrow. Next month is our anniversary month for 6 years, and I haven't planned a gosh darn thing because life has been busy and consuming, and I've been actually trying to maybe do some self-care once in a while, which means I haven't planned anything.
We had a whiz-bang blowout 5-year anniversary.
Yeah, I don't think that we're going to do things quite as intense as that. But we would like to celebrate that we've been in business for 6 years now, because 5 years is the proverbial small business success story benchmark, so we were like, woohoo! And now it's 6. Almost.
Yep. Friday this year was 6 years from the first skein of yarn I bought from your shop.
Oh, did you look that up?
Oh, I've known about it.
Wait, did you buy it before we opened?
No. You opened on Thursday this year, Friday.
Which was a Friday, and you came in on Saturday and bought yarn.
Yep. It was Yarn Baby. Total Eclipse. Yeah.
It's pretty yarn that we don't get from her anymore, but yeah.
It was the yarn I watched you unbox when we met 2 weeks before.
Mm-hmm. And you waited and came
I
back
was
and
like, ooh, when do you open?
Oh, so many sagas. Anyway, yeah.
What's funny is I was before Amy or Carol or yeah.
Carol came during that time and looked in the window. I still remember her coming and looking in the window late one night when they were out on a walk.
Yeah.
And being like, it's a yarn shop. All she saw were the
cubbies.
The cubbies. Yeah. She might have seen. She claims she saw boxes with names on them, and I'm like, but yeah. Anyway, I have stories about all of those, and I may or may not share them. We'll see. But we should go open the shop, and I don't know if those people are still out there, but we won't open the doors for at least another 10 minutes, probably.
Yeah, they're going to wait.
They're going to wait. Because I don't want to deal with people yet. We'll say hi to you all, but I don't want to deal with people yet.
It's still a half hour.
I know. It's still just not even 9:35 yet, so yeah.
I realized I forgot my wrist ruler this morning.
You want mine?
I forgot my little danglies this morning.
Okay. I was
yeah.
I took this off and I went,
and I
did that last
completely
week. And it was
naked. And it feels weird.
It happens.
I knew when I was getting stuff together that I was forgetting something this morning, and I'm like, no, I've got everything.
I put this on and was like, I need to find bobby pins because I lost some last week, so I could put this on my head and not have it fall off. And went in the kitchen to find my bobby pins. Don't ask why they're in the kitchen.
At least they're not safety pins.
And then just totally forgot. Yeah. Staple gun. That's what I need. All right. We will see you all later. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.